So, hi everyone, my name is Hitesh and I'm an AI engineer. Today I'm taking a masterclass on AI for business owners. How business owners can navigate AI without being like overly technical and also without dumbing down the details, like hitting that sweet spot. How you can learn AI and apply it to your business. The only shit or the only things you need to know. So, we'll start by moving up to a question of what is AI? What do you guys think is AI? Like, I'll take just one person, anyone. What do you think is AI? In your opinion, not the bookish definition. Free labor, free smart labor. Anyone else?
Intelligence without human intervention. It's through systems, through computers.
Automation. Got it. So people nowadays do a mistake. They think that AI is only ChatGPT. So that is one mistake you don't have to make. Artificial intelligence is when we teach machines to mimic humans. Okay, to have intelligence like humans and do tasks like humans. For example, if you see email, you read it and you know that it is a spam email. Okay, but you cannot do it when you were a child. You have seen a lot of spam emails. Now you can read the pattern. That is how AI is done. That is how AI learns. You teach it, you give it a lot of data about spam emails, and then it knows that this is a spam email and this is not a spam email. So this is what we call a very simple traditional AI. Traditional AI can only classify. Okay, so for example, let's say I want there is an image, I want to know which animal it is. The AI will analyze the image based on its data, and it will tell you which animal it is. It can only do classify. Okay, it can do a very small type of analysis, not a very broad analysis. For example, there is a thing called sentiment analysis. Now let's say ki, uh, shut the fuck up. Okay, this is a word. The sentiment is negative. Okay, but I say I bought a new thing. The sentiment is positive. Okay, but I say I went to a ride yesterday. Now the sentiment is neutral. I'm not trying to be positive. I'm not trying to be negative. So this is what traditional AI helps you. Okay, and this is good to know because when we say we are trying to integrate AI in our systems, we are basically trying to do it because it's hot. But mostly what we need is traditional AI, not generative AI. Now, what is generative AI? Generative AI is creative. It is ChatGPT. You give it a question, it generates a lot of answers. And even you can give it your old data and generate a lot of things. Now, that is generative AI. That probably only covers 15 to 20% of your use cases. You don't need it in many cases. In fact, most of the financial and the Web3 world, it still relies on the traditional AI systems. If you have ever done Web3 trading, you know, people predict that markets will go up or down. That is done using traditional AI, no generative AI used. Because traditional AI, it requires a lot of data initially, but it is very reliable. Generative AI is not reliable. It is probabilistic. You cannot determine its output ahead of. And in traditional AI, you have defined outputs like positive, negative, or neutral. You know that the answer will be from these three words. So that's one thing. If you want to be reliable, use traditional AI. And I recommend business owners to use traditional AI because they have one thing that nobody else has, that is proprietary data. You have data about your own company, you have data about your own projections. Now, come to business functions ready for AI. These are four operations that can be automated using generative AI. So generative AI has a perk. It is very easy to use. You just go to ChatGPT, you type your query, and you get your answer. You don't need to be very technical. Now that is one aspect of it. But while integrating it into your systems, you have to go a bit into the backend type of infrastructure. You have to go a bit technical. So while there is a bit of technical literacy involved, if you hire a developer or a freelancer, these are the four type of things that you can automate and save your time and save your money. So the first is customer support. So let's say you have a product and suddenly you launched a new feature, and the new feature has a bug. Now everybody is like shit posting that this is a bug, this is a bug, this is a bug. Everybody is having unique problems in that bug. How will you make sure, if you are a very small company and you scaled very rapidly, how will you make sure the answers are done and they are reliable? Because even the the customer support doesn't know what type of bugs you are facing. What you can do is use generative AI, use ChatGPT at the backend, give it your whole documentation, and you can tell it that okay, if this type of question comes, you have to use this type of data, what I have given you, and then support all the queries. Now, this has infinite scale. ChatGPT, you are using someone else's data, you are using someone else's compute, you are not doing anything. You have just integrated an API. That is 15 or 20 minutes of work for a freelancer. So that's what business owners can do. They can invest up to, I can say, a good freelancer will take $100 to integrate it, but the returns are infinite. They compound. Then you come to marketing. When you are trying to market your product, we do a lot of things. We do content generation, we do audience targeting, and the best thing we do is analytics. So now sometimes analytics, how does they help you? For example, you want to do competitor analysis. Okay, the traditional way would be to like hire someone like McKinsey or hire someone like I forgot the name, but let's take McKinsey, and they do their own data analysis and they get you some data and then they give you the insights on your data. But with GPT, what you can do is ask it that this is the company and scrape all the data it has available on the internet. Now you nowadays you can use the search function in GPT and make me an analysis. You can also at the same time give it your projections. Now what it can do is it has your projections, it scraped the company's projection and sentiment. Now, what it can do is compare both where you are lacking or where they are lacking. What is you doing negative? What is they doing negative? Now, that is one thing you can use ChatGPT for. And then comes content creation. That is basically, I feel, 70% of the part we use generative AI for. We mostly use it for making posts and all of the things. Then comes to operations. It is scheduling, inventory management, and forecasting. So, scheduling is, let's say, for example, uh, there is let's say you launched a new product and a lot of people want to try it, okay, but there is a person sitting behind the desk, he's scheduling and seeing your calendar, okay, are you free this time, are you free this time. Now this also doesn't scale well if you are a very small company, but if you integrate ChatGPT behind, okay, now if a new query will come, it will say, okay, can I resolve that query at the same time? If it can, it will resolve the query. If not, it will route it to the developer and schedule it. Nowadays, ChatGPT can do it using something called tools. Okay, so tools you can also the same thing you can ask a freelancer to like integrate that tool for you. It can integrate your whole database into it, your whole company database. So that is the scope of it. Now people talk a lot about AI, that what you need to learn in AI. But I feel the most important part for people in business is to know what not to do, what you can outsource. Because what outsourcing is the best. People think they need to train models. You don't. People think they need a lot of data. You don't need a lot of. You need to outsource all of this. Now, what you don't need to do, the first thing is learn every new framework and technology. Basically, what the media has tried to garner our attention towards newer models. DeepSeek is releasing, Claude 3.7 is releasing, ChatGPT is releasing, then you can say Mistral is releasing. But what happens is, more or less, for a simple business owner, these metrics won't matter. You can use any LLM and it would be same probably. Now because LLMs have started to do diminishing returns because we don't have a lot of data now. Now everybody has hit a wall. So you can like use any LLM and it will give you the best results. I will specify what LLM is best for what, but in a general capability, you can use any LLM. With nowadays there is a mode called deep thinking. So it will think about it for a bit and then answer. You can use deep thinking. It is available in every model. And then is know every model and technical degree. You should not care if a model has 300 million parameters or 300 billion parameters. So if you want to know what they are, more parameters mean more quality. And every newer model always has more parameters, although you don't need to care about it. Just use the best model. Go to chatgpt.com. Don't even select a model. They already have the default selected for you. So basically, intelligence has hit a wall. So you can use any model you want based on the use case. It will be okay for you. Then third is become a programmer or a data scientist. You don't have to do that. You can always outsource $100 freelancer all of your work. I'll explain what to outsource and how to know what to outsource. Then is chase every new AI tool that appears. Okay, so let's say you want to write do copywriting. People go behind copy.ai, people go behind jasper.ai. Now, these are all based on the base LLMs. Now, LLMs have hit a wall. All of these tools are the same. You can use any tool. It will not give you a lot of difference until unless you put your effort into it. If you're generating vanilla outputs, like you're saying, generate me X for Y. It will do you the same output every LLM. But if you give it some creative insight, maybe it can help you a lot. So now, what you actually need to do in this AI era, that a lot of people are ignoring. What you don't need to ignore is understand the basics of how AI works. That I told you, you only need to know how to prompt. You don't even know which model to prompt. Okay, that is the work of an AI developer. You don't need to care about it. You just need to resolve your query. Use any LLM model. Then identify opportunities in your business. Now that you know an AI has the intelligence of a human and it can scale well. Now it is your business and your business is unique to you. You know what can be automated. So make a list of what can be automated in your business. For example, ticketing is a very common task. One is customer support, one is chatbots. Now these are the things you need to identify. You can identify what can be automated. How can I reduce the headcount in my company? This is the question basically used. If I have to reduce the headcount in my company, what department will I choose? Just go and automate that department. That is the thing. And you don't need to do it yourselves. You can hire any other. Then is leverage your domain expertise. Now, ChatGPT is trained on a lot of data. It's like it has read thousands of books, but it is not a master of anyone. It cannot recall all of that. Now, the leverage you as a business owner is you are deep into your domain. Now, if I say write a good copy, okay, I'll say write me a good article on this. But if you are a social media marketer, you will write it like this: write me a good copy which has a hook line. Then you can say it has XYZ metrics. You have the potential to make the output more creative based on your insights. Now you are deep into the domain. So one thing you need to understand is you should give as much as data you can to AI. Never always expect the every Leela prompt and then expect a very good output. Okay. Also, it is there to assist you based on what you prompt. The chat box is there for a reason. Then is collect and organize your business data. That is the one advice that nobody will give you because people say that generative AI is there. Okay. It already knows a lot of things, but it knows nothing about your business. So if you have your projections ready in an Excel sheet, just upload it to Claude or any LLM and ask them, what are we doing wrong? Okay. If you log your interactions with customers, if you have the transcripts of them, just put them into ChatGPT and ask them what person is working the most lazy and who is not resolving queries. It will tell you that this person has this productivity, this person didn't talk the right way there. Then you can actually condition people that okay, don't talk this way, don't talk this way. Basically, data is your moat, and a business has a lot of data. There is no business who doesn't have data. Now, what is your competitive advantage? I gave you a teaser, and that is market and company data is gold. Nobody has it. It is unique to your business. Okay, then is domain expertise is irreplaceable because you have your unique insights, and even sometimes when we do business, we get to know some patterns that work for us. Now you can use to replicate those patterns and make systems that can scale to thousands of employees. Now increase productivity. Then is human creativity and judgment still matters. You cannot expect AI to take all of the hard working. It can do 80% of the work, the redundant work, but the last, we can say, the last judgment you have to make based on your creativity and your knowledge. Then AI is a tool, not a replacement for leadership. Now, leadership here goes to, let's say you have to make a very high stakes decision of removing someone from your team. Okay, you have their past data. How have they done? This is their productivity charts. This is how they talk to people. This is how they are with the employees. Now, I feel businesses have an employee record or data. Maybe you have. If not, uh, I would urge every business owner to start collecting data as much as they can. Every meeting of you should be recorded. Every meeting of you should at least have the audio of that meeting, if not even the video. Because if you get a transcript, you can analyze a lot of things from that. The more the data, the more you can rely on what you want to achieve. Yes. So then this is the no bullshit guide to using AI. If someone doesn't know anything, how can you be confident in using AI? You just need to know some vocabulary models. You already know different companies make different models, just like different companies have the same, they have the same data. It's like the salt is same, but different companies are producing the different medicines. So they are labeled different. Then tokens. We talk in words. Let's say I say I am Hitesh. Now these are three words. I see it as three words on my vocabulary. But what are tokens? LLMs use something, they don't use words basically. Hitesh for me is one word, but Hitesh for an LLM is three words. Now, this is due to the pattern they are trained at. Okay, we don't have a lot of compute. LLMs take a lot of compute. So, what we do is break down words into smaller patterns. So, we don't have to like use a lot of storing six letters, take more kind of space than storing two letters. Now, this is the reason why they don't even need to remember that. Just say we use words, LLMs use tokens. That's their vocabulary. Khatam. Anytime somebody says tokens, just think it is words for LLMs. Then prompts. Nowadays, you don't even need to know the prompting techniques, to be honest. Just turn on the deep thinking and just type any shitty prompt you want. It will automatically improve it, then make a plan to solve your thing and then solve it. But that doesn't give you a ticket or a pass to always put shitty prompts. You have to work as much as you have to nuance your prompt as much as you want. It can help you nuance it even more. But even if you cannot for some reason, it is there. The deep think is there. Then how to ask effective questions. And these are the prompt engineering basics. If you can ask specific and good questions, you will always get a specific and a good answer. Now, this is where your domain expertise will help you. Let's say uh, there's a specific business I am doing. Let's say I'm doing a content writing agent. I'm making a content writing agent. Now, I know that if the content is not good, as a content writer myself, I know these are some metrics I can judge my content on. Now you have the domain expertise and AI mixed match. Now rather than 8 employees judging your outputs manually, you have an AI judging your outputs. Okay, now that the scale is infinite again. You save a lot of human error. Then how to delegate work to AI assistants. That is one thing that your AI developer will do. So before hiring an AI developer, what you'll do is you'll see the thing I tell you. If I had to remove 5 persons from a team, if I had to reduce headcount, what team would I automate? Pick that team, make a very detailed kind of document of what to do, because companies already have systems in place that if a new person gets onboarded on a team, he'll know how to work. The same you can give to an AI developer and say, make me an AI assistant that does the same work. That will scale infinitely. Then is example prompts that work versus those that don't. Now you will put a lot of prompts. Some will work, some prompts will not work. The ones which work, document them because they will have structure. Now there is a very good trick that I use. Let's say I input 20 prompts and six of them work. I'll isolate the 14, the 16. I'll give both to the LLM that these six work greatly, these 14. Why these 14 doesn't work and why these six work. It will give you a structure on how to write a prompt that is tailored to your needs. Now that is one trick you can use. You can always put a feedback loop to an LLM. That is one thing. Then AI tools worth knowing. Uh, Mostly people know it. ChatGPT, Claude for text and business thinking. Everybody knows that. Most people don't know Claude. Claude is a very good model by a company called Anthropic. Then Midjourney and Dali for images that people have used a lot. Runway and Pika for audio. So you were asking about media models. So you were asking me, you downloaded a model and it came, the config UI was not. Now, running these models require compute around over $100 million. So if you download it on a laptop, either your laptop will break and never work again. Like I've break two laptops, but I made them work. I cleared the RAM. But for a non-technical person, it is a disaster. So you should never try to train and run your own models. A lot of good labs and companies with billions of dollars have created them for you, posted them, just give them $5 and use their API. Fast, work done in 10 seconds. So never try to host your own models until unless your data is very, very private, and that I feel most people do. Then there is Zapier and Make for automation. You need to know that these are tools for automation. Zapier, a lot of people know, no code automation. And you don't need to do that yourself. You just need to know that there is something that can automate. If you want to try, you can try Zapier. It's very easy. Okay. Then is industry specific tools relevant to your business. Now there is a site. You can note it. It's called futurepedia.io. Okay, you can go there and just type your specific industry and what type of thing you want. It will give you all the AI tools, and you can also filter based on free tools or based on paid tools. One thing I'll tell every business owner is don't rely on free APIs because LLMs take a lot of money to run for data centers, and A lot of LLMs are behind those paywalls. If you can pay $10 for unlimited intelligence, pay for it. Then what not to do unless you're at enterprise level is run your own models. This is expensive, technical, and you have to manage them. You have to at least gather 5 people to manage a model if you're running it. So never run your own models. 99% of the times you won't need it. Just pay $5 or $2 as for a subscription, generate what you want, and you'll get returns from it. Put it back into the subscription. Then is train custom models. This is only for 4 labs. Microsoft, Google, OpenAI. These are doing it for you. Don't need to do that again. Then is build custom infrastructure. It is a maintenance nightmare. Don't even think that you can host a server and then host an LLM on it. Everyone can use it. You can buy enterprise version of Claude. You can buy enterprise version of Cursor. You can buy enterprise versions of Google products. Google products have the best integration with all of those your complete tools. Then is an example that the cost of GPT-4 was $100 million plus, and running these cost uh, like running ChatGPT every day and the data centers cost as much as a small country. Now that is a lot of power plus a lot of carbon emission. Now to remove that carbon, a lot of filters are there. So those filters also add up to the cost. Even then, it is not 100%. It is about 30 to 35% viable. Then when not to use AI. You probably know when you're taking high stake decisions, you cannot leave anything to AI. Then sensitive data handling without proper safeguards. Now, if there is some personal data like Aadhaar card information, make sure to always extract it before putting it into a pipeline. Then is creative work requiring a unique human touch. You need a human at the loop behind. Then is when accuracy is critical and hallucinations are risky. Now, what is hallucinations? The best example is just input into your LLM that write me, like give me information about shiny toothpaste. Now, even if shiny toothpaste doesn't exist, now it will give you a very good written document that you will be persuaded that it exists. But these are the like the negatives of LLMs. One thing we want them not to be hallucinate. The partnership mindset. People think that they can delegate. Now there are two types of people in AI. One that feel AI doesn't work. Why? Because they tried a model 2 years ago and now they think 2 years ago AI was shitty. ChatGPT was shitty. But they have made their mind that now it is shitty and I won't ever use it. That needs to be changed. There are other side of the spectrum, people who overuse it. They use it for everything. Okay, but you don't even need to do that. You need to hit that sweet spot at the center that you need to keep an eye on it, but still do the work, explain the workflow, it will do it for yourself. You cannot leave it to like even get your workflow at its own cost. So then probably the next steps, as this was more tailored towards people learning AI, is start small with one use case. Pick a small use case in your company. If you are a tech company, the better because developers are there. If not, you can hire a freelancer. So, but before hiring that, analyze something that if I had to remove one team, okay, whose headcount will I remove? Then make a skilled plan. Then you can experiment using like $100. You'll find a lot of good developers and experiment with that. Then measure your results and ROI. If they are positive, go with that. Then you can scale infinitely. If they are negative or if they are not up to you, then you can remove that. Costing $100 is nothing worth of experiment if it can save you in the long term thousands of dollars. Then these are some resources for people that have curated that are not too techy, but also not too dumbed down to leave you out of the crowd. That I will share later. And these were some questions of people that I wanted to answer, but I feel most of them have been. But I feel most of them have been answered in the session. I've read all of those answers. Probably you would have gotten your answer. Thank you for the session.